कुञ्ज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुञ्ज विहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गिरिवरधारी।
यशोधनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोधनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन।
यमुनतीरावनचारी
यमुनतीरावनचारी।
जय राधमाधव जय कुञ्जविहारी
जय राधमाधव जय कुञ्जविहारी।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे।
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद।
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव।
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
जय
महाराज की जय
जय
इंद्रराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय
जय
शिवगुण कृष्णदास प्रभु जी की जय
जय।
all glories to assembled devotees Hare
हरे
Krishna
कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna thank you all devotees for joining our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading morning session in English. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you Manoharni Mataji for joining. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So thank you all Matajis and Prabhujis. Okay, Vinod Prabhu also. Sadananda Prabhuji back to Kuwait. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji may be in the
Yes,
office.
Prabhu. Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Hare
join
Krishna.
that. Okay, okay. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So, the Thursday, I think we have completed 6.2.44, 43, sorry, 43. So today we will start with verse number 44 onwards of chapter 2 of Canto 6. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Bhaktar Bhavati Nashtagi. Mugam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langede Girim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Paramananda Madhavam. Sri Gurum Deenatarinam Sri Chaitanyamishara Mubhajnana Dvirandasya Jnananjana Shalagya Chashuru Milidam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stavitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagata Mahyam Dadanti Subhadandiyam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Udapatagamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagarjadam Sagana Raghunatanyadam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjanasakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Vadan Sagana Sri Vishakanyadamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagalpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavani Vrishabhana Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarubhyacha Purva Sindhubhyacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhudale Simade Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nidinamine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gavravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vachatyade Shadarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So once again, welcome all devotees for our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So we'll start with verse number 44. Hare Krishna. Sagam Dihayasa Vipro Mahapurusha Gingareha Aimam Vimana Maruhya Yayau Yatra Shriyaha Patihi Sagam Dihayasa Vipro Mahapurusha Kingareha Aimam Vimanamaruhya Yayau Yatra Shriyaha Patihi. Translation purported by His Divine Grace Abhicharanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Accompanied by the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, AJÂMILA boarded an airplane made of gold. Passing through the airways, he went directly to the abode of Lord Vishnu, the husband of the goddess of fortune. Translation once more. Accompanied by the order carriers of Lord Vishnu, AJÂMILA boarded an airplane made of gold. Passing through the airways, he went directly to the abode of Lord Vishnu, the husband of the goddess of fortune. Poet. For many years, material scientists have tried to go to the moon, but they are still unable to go there. However, the spiritual airplanes from the spiritual planets can take one back home, back to Godhead in a second. The speed of such a spiritual plane can only be imagined. Spirit is finer than the mind, and everyone has experience of how swiftly the mind travels from one place to another. Therefore, one can imagine the swiftness of the spiritual form by comparing it to the speed of the mind. In less than even a moment, a perfect devotee can return home back to Godhead immediately after giving up his material body. Hare Krishna. Raji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sri Kumar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
So, we are continuing. Today, we have come to the climax of this episode.
Yes.
The destination of AJÂMIL. Even though he was so sinful, but how he has finally, got purified by chanting the holy name of the Lord. So, that is very important. So, verse number 39 to 44. This is our last verse. The subject is how AJÂMIL performed austerities at Haridwar. Haridwar is one of the holy dham. Rishikesh, Haridwar, all these are holy dham. So Ajamil performed austerities at Haridwar. After seeing the Vishnudutas, his life got transformed. Before that, he was, living with a prostitute and he was engaged in all sinful activities. But when the Vishnudutas came to rescue him, because he accidentally chanted his Narayana's name in the form of his son's name, and the Vishnudutas came for his rescue, then he understood the importance of the holy name. So then he immediately took up seriously that I will regularly chant. For accidentally chanting itself, I got that so much benefit. Now, if I properly chant with proper attention and mood, then what will be the result? So immediately he went to Haridwar, and now we are seeing the climax, how he has attained Vaikuntha. So this is very important. Vishnudutas means the devotees of the Lord. That also indicates that if you are with the devotees of the Lord, that is very, very beneficial. Because Ajamil life transformed because of association of devotees. Devotees means here it refers to Vishnudutas. Because till they meet Vishnudutas, he was very sinful. But after meeting them only, his life transformed. So like that, many people get transformed by in contact with the devotee association. So Srila Prabhupada mission is like that, so powerful that it will change many Naradamas. Narada means the lowest of the mankind to Narottama. Narottama means the highest of humans. Narottama. Uttama means of the highest of the human being. So that is the potency of this Krishna consciousness movement. So even yesterday I was sharing on realization of actually our Guru Maharaj. Maybe just to quickly I will tell that 2 minutes. That
yes.
There was a devotee actually. 1 minute, let me just Krishna Kripamurti. His name is Kripamurti. It's a true incident. True incident where it is said that there is no limit to Guru's mercy. Very nice, heart-touching incident, actually. So, like in March 3rd, that is last month, 2024, was one of the most auspicious moments in the life of Kripamurti, Krishna Das. Because on that day, the holy land of Mayapur, Bengal, India, by mercy of Panchatattva, Kripamurti met his spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, for the first time in his life. After being initiated in 2009 in Taiping prison, Malaysia. See, Prabhu has got initiated by Maharaj in Malaysian prison, Taiping prison. That also so, but he did not see his spiritual master. But first time last March, this is 1 month before, 3rd, 2024, first time he's seeing in Holy Dham, Mayapur. So the background story is, we are going to Malaysia now. In Malaysia, what has happened? In 2009, so we are going reverse to 14, 15 years. 2009, this article is written by, actually, it has come in many websites also. His name is His Grace Eduraj Krishna Prabhu. He is a temple president of ISKCON Taiping, Malaysia. This article is written on 6th March 2024. That means last month only 10. So here what has happened? These are all Tamil community people. Because in Malaysia, earlier times, the British taken a lot of people from Tamil Nadu for rubber plantation. So there is a lot of Tamil community in Malaysia. Almost like you can say like they are like majority of population. So these people who I'm talking, they are all Tamil community. They are all like Guru Maharaj's disciples. So the story goes like this. In 2009, Prabhuji writes, is my wife Sarva Devi and I met His Holiness Jayapataka Swami at Port Dickson during Malaysia Hare Krishna convention. And then Prabhu is speaking to our Guru Maharaj, Kripamurti, about Kripamurti, Krishna Rao. Its original name is Krishna Rao. He's speaking, that is a prisoner, Kripamurti, because Kripamurti has received death sentence. He's a death sentence inmate who was practicing Krishna consciousness nicely. Because Prabhuji is preaching in the prison for 20 years, not 1 year, 2 years. 20 years he is going to various prisons in Malaysia and preaching. Because of his preaching effort, this Krishna Rao or Kripamurti, he got transformed and became very nicely, he was chanting, nicely practicing Krishna consciousness. So he asked Guru Maharaj in 2009 that this person is very nicely following. Can you give him initiation? We told everything about Kripamurti and asked Maharaj, Maharaj, is it possible if you could accept him as your disciple? Maharaj was silent for a few moments and said, I will give him initiation if he is willing to appeal for pardon from the king, because he's already got death sentence. So Maharaj told that if he will take pardon from the king, just you have to write a letter for pardon, appeal, then I will give him initiation. He's agree for the proposal. All the while, Kripamurti refused to appeal for pardon from the king, as he said. Actually, Kripamurti is not interested to get for this one, like pardon, because he is saying, I am willing to face hanging as death sentence as punishment for his crime. So whatever crime I committed, let me die. Like that. But after meeting his only Jayapataka Swami, Prabhu is writing, I went to typing prison to meet Kripamurti and asked him, Prabhu, how are you? And Kripamurti said, Prabhu, every day I am eating at the door of death. Every day I am sleeping at the door of death. And every day I am living at the door of death. But I am always happy in Krishna consciousness, because Prabhuji is waiting for his death sentence. So, but I am only happy because of this Krishna consciousness. Later, I asked Kripamurti if he has any desire to accept the Guru. With the tears in his eyes, Kripamurti replied, Prabhu, only yesterday I prayed to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna that I want a Guru. After that, I told Kripamurti about my meeting with Swarna Jayapataka Swami and his request for Kripamurti to appeal to the king for pardon. Then Kripamurti later wrote to the appeal to King of Malaysia, as well as the Sultan of Perak state. So there is one state like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Sultan of Perak state. So for both, Kripamurti written an appeal. One is King of Malaysia, as well as the Sultan of Perak state. Yeah. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and his spiritual master, Kripamurti received pardon from the Sultan of Perak, Malaysia, on the auspicious day of Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja in 2014. So in 2014, his death imprisonment is changed to life imprisonment, still not released. Life imprisonment now. Now no more death sentence. And his sentence was demoted from death to life imprisonment. Okay. After 1 week of Kripamurti's pardon, as I was walking out of the prison after my weekly class, I met a Punjabi warden officer who told me, this Krishna Rao, Kripamurti is 99% confirmed hang. Only God helped him. So that warden, Punjabi warden, is telling to Prabhuji. Later, Kripamurti was transferred to another prison, Javi prison in Penang state. He is transferred to another prison because still his life imprisonment is still there. But what happened? In 2023, Malaysian government abolished mandatory death sentence, and all death sentenced and life imprisonment inmates in Malaysia have their cases reviewed. So Kripamurti was given 36 years prison. According to prison calculation, Kripamurti has overstayed and was released from prison immediately on November 16th, 2023. So this is a miracle. From death sentence to life imprisonment. From life imprisonment, he was finally released on November 16, 2023, means last year, November, 4 or 5 months before. The judge considered the strong recommendation from the prison authority. Because prison, he got very good name because of practicing Krishna consciousness. He was very helpful to the prison, solved a lot of issues there. And the prison authority gave him very good feedback about this person. Yes. And also ISKCON typing has also given recommendation letter. So both the judge saw and then given a final verdict to release. So given 36 years and already you overstayed. So yeah, Kripamurti has been daily following spiritual practices and has become an exemplary inmate. See, he became a very good prisoner who was liked by everyone in Javi prison. After Kripamurti was released from prison, he told me that he wanted to follow us to Mayapur and see his spiritual master. And the mercy of Sri Panchatattva, he did and had audience with his spiritual master immediately after reaching Mayapur. Now we come to Mayapur. On 3rd March, this is 2024, as we were standing near the temple of Vedic Planetarium office after the opening of new Narsimha altar at TOP, we suddenly saw His Holiness Jayapataka Swami being wheeled to his ashram by his servants. He spoke to his servant, His Grace Radha Raman Prabhu, about Kripamurti and immediately brought us to Maharaj and told him about Kripamurti wanting to meet him. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami was glad to see his disciple. For the first time, he is seeing his disciple and asked him, how do you like Mayapur? Kripamurti raised both his hands and said, Hari Bol. That moment was unforgettable for Kripamurti. as it was the first time Maharaj was meeting his disciple after 15 years. Kripamurti life proved that mercy of spiritual master has no limit. From the day he was initiated and released, his spiritual master mercy has always been. In Mayapur, Kripamurti has been attending Mangala Arati and morning program daily and was very fortunate to attend the opening of TOP Narsimha Wing, Sri Panchatattva Abhishek, and fed mother cows in Mayapur Goshal and took bath in Holy Ganga. He is saying, Prabhu, everything in Mayapur has been so wonderful and the prasadam was simply amazing. I could not believe I am in Mayapur, Kripamurti said. Scripture mentioned that by the mercy of Guru, one gets Krishna, and by the mercy of Krishna, one gets Guru. I told him that whatever happened in his life was simply the mercy of his Guru. He told Jayapataka Swami and told him, again, there is no limit to Guru Maharaj's mercy. Yaduraj Krishna Das, ISKCON typing, Malaysia, 6th March 2024. So, very, very heart-touching article. So, even I shared yesterday in the Vyasa Puja offering also. It is really, this is actually the devotees association, devotees blessing. It can make wonders. And the devotee which I said, who is preaching in Malaysia, present for more than 20 years, he also shared one more realization that whoever is in the prison, whatever he is seen, they are gifting Bhagavatam also to them. So whoever has completed Bhagavatam, almost everybody who completed Bhagavatam, they got miraculously released from the prison so far. So that is also the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu was expressing that. Whoever has read the Bhagavatam, the prison, they somehow got released after some time. So that is also, we are reading Bhagavatam, we can understand how much mercy and benefit we will be getting. Prabhu, the screen sharing is being stopped. Maybe Prabhuji, internet connection or Sri Kumar Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm back. Sorry, my Wi-Fi was out and
Okay.
reconnected now. Okay, sorry. Just
Yeah.
the school.
So that is the mercy of the pure devotees. They can transform our life from Naradama to Narottama. That is such a practical example. And
fantastic. Yes, Prabhuji, very
very heart-touching. Very heart-touching.
And yes. Very.
Suppose that person is not getting the devotee affiliation, nobody is going to prison preaching. What will be his life now?
Yes.
So ISKCON is having one called a prison ministry. There is one separate section in ISKCON. They are go to prison all over the world, America, London. Like this prison ministry job is to go and preach, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam to the inmates. And there are people who will take up chanting and they are getting their life transformed because of that, association. So like that, this Prabhu's life got transformed. Otherwise, his life will be very, very miserable, Can understand. Yes. And not only that, he got released, he got the initiation shelter of Guru Maharaj also. And he's very happy practicing Krishna consciousness. So that is one very beautiful thing here. The same thing we can see how AJÂMILA also got transformed by association.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing. Wonderful.
Yeah, bro. It was very inspiring for me to read. That's why I shared. So good that if people will hear how Guru's mercy is there, Krishna's mercy is there. If you take the shelter, then their mercy we can see. So that is an important point. So here we will come to today's verse actually. How AJÂMIL boarded. We are all boarding also plane, metal plane. But here AJÂMIL boarded an airplane made of gold. So one time Prabhupada was in Australia. In Australia, the interview, the reporters were asking questions. They always ask challenging. They try to insult by the way they ask questions. So they asked Prabhupada that, oh, Swamiji, you are saying you are a renowned person, but you are coming in a Rolls-Royce car. Is it not like very royal, rich? Rolls-Royce means very famous brand, very expensive car. Why are you coming in this? Then Prabhupada replied, what is this car? This is made of tin and tire. It's made of tin, metal. Actually, the spiritual master should be actually coming in golden car. It's because he's the representative of God. This is nothing for me. This car is made of metal. So this is what we are seeing, made of gold. Prabhupada said, if my disciples are offering with love, why should I reject it? So like that, he told. Then the reporters did not ask anything further. So here, whatever in spiritual world, they are all made of gold. Chintamani, Prakarasu, Kalpa, Vriksha, Laksha, Vriteshu, Surabhi. So everything is made of gold, touchstones like that. But of course, these things only we can imagine, or we can go there and experience that. So Bhagavatam very clearly says, how is a spiritual world made, and how is it airplanes are made. The airplane is not made like metal here. We are only making small gold for ornaments, that much gold only available. But the airplane itself is made of gold, means we can understand how much gold will be there. AJÂMIL boarded an airplane made of gold, passing through the airways, through the clouds. He went directly to the abode of Vaikuntha Loka, Vishnu. And the husband, who is the husband of goddess of fortune? Here we can say that word Shriya Patihi. Shriya Patihi means husband of goddess of fortune. That is Lord Vishnu's name is Shriya Patihi. So purport, for many years, there was a moon mission, which year, Prabhu? 1965 or 69? 65 or 60, sometime. When Prabhupada went to America, that time only. 1960s, we can say. So they had a moon mission where Neil Armstrong and all those things, and we read in our textbook also. But there are so much controversies about that moon landing issue. Apart from ISKCON, Prabhupada is written that they have tried, but there are a lot of, if you go to Google, you can see many people debate that they did not go to the moon. Apart from spiritual organization, a lot of people, they say that they have not gone because they had a tough time with Russia, because both were doing very powerful in spiritual exploration. They want to prove that they are better, Americans. So they made that we landed already to prove that we are better than you. Like that, there is a kind of debate going on. That really whether they landed in moon or not, we do not know. That's a question mark. Like that, there is a question. Still now they are. Yeah. So that's what Prabhupada is writing here. For many years, material scientists have tried to go to moon, but they are still unable to go there. Of course, see, there are people who are believe that they went to moon, and there are people who don't believe, they did not go. It's up to the individual. Even sometimes some Prabhupada disciples themselves argue to Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, why you are saying like that? They actually went to moon. Prabhupada, he did not verify, because he's saying that unless you do punya, you cannot go to those planets easily. Because that is, moon is coming in the higher planetary system. Moon, sun, these are all coming in, we already read in 5th canto. They are coming in the higher planetary system. So it is not easy to enter. Prabhupada gives example, like if you want to go to America, you cannot enter without visa. Like that, to higher planetary system, it is not easy to go without, you should have a suitable body and you should have suitable credits also for that. So, I think Prabhu again lost his connection. We'll continue with that. But still, they are unable to go there. However, the spiritual airplanes from the spiritual planets can be take one back to home, back to Godhead in a second. Same Leela we are seeing also for Dhruva Maharaj, who also the VIŠBHUDūTAS came with the same golden airplane. And then Dhruva Maharaj was stepping on the airplane with his feet. He kept his feet on the head of Yamaraj, and he was boarding that airplane. And then he asked, what about my mother? They said, don't worry about your mother. Your mother is coming in the separate plane to spiritual world. So same here also we are seeing that how AJÂMILA also is boarding that plane to back to home, back to Godhead. And Prabhupada writes here, the speed of such spiritual plane can only be imagined. Whatever spiritual is very, very powerful. We should always understand. Like you can see, we are making a small swimming pool out of our sun. But, God has made big ocean. We can never make ocean, that much big water. So anything spiritual means it is having higher power. That's what Prabhupada is writing here. Spirit is finer than mind. Finer means more powerful and subtle. And everyone has experienced how swiftly the mind travels from one place to another. Therefore, one can imagine the swiftness of the spiritual form by comparing it to the speed of the mind. So we can take an example how the mind, now we are sitting here, suddenly you are thinking about Kerala or India. So immediately the mind is there. Suppose you are thinking about your school days, immediately the mind goes there. What all happened? Who are your friends? Where did you go? How did you spend your time? The mind will travel at the speed, no? Like that, these airplanes, spiritual planes, can travel in the swift form within a moment. A perfect devotee can return back home, back to God. It's not like you travel from India to America. You have to sit in the airplane for 22 hours.
Yes.
It is not like that. So Prabhuji has traveled already, so he knows 20 to 24 hours are very difficult to sit in the plane.
Yes, yes.
Because for when you go from Kuwait to Chennai or Kerala, it is only 4 hours, 4.5 or 5 hours. But even 5 hours, very difficult to sit.
Very difficult, yeah, we feel.
Because you have to sit in the same place. And but you can imagine 22 hours, 24. So spiritual world is billions of miles away. So we cannot go by material plane. But by spiritual plane, it is saying it is just go in the speeder than the mind means. Instantly, he will be here. Immediately, he will be in the spiritual world. There is no travel time. That's our proper rating. A perfect devotee can return home back to God immediately after giving up his material body. That is actually important point. How swiftly the mind travels, like that. These spiritual planes, within the moment, it will take the spirit soul to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, any devotees have any questions or comments on this? If there is something, we can discuss. Otherwise, we can go to the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Manohari Mataji, anything to? Hare Krishna.
So we
So
can go to
No. Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu, continue, Prabhu. Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Thank you, Bro. Hare Krishna. So we'll go for next verse. Verse number 45. 6 to
Hare
45.
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Evam saviplavita sarvadharmam sadhyah patitah patito gahya karmana nipatyamano niraye hatavratah satyo vimukto bhagavan nama grihnan. Translation. Scroll down, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Translation. AJÂMILA was a Brahmana who, because of bad association, had given up all Brahmanical culture and religious principles. Becoming most fallen, he stole, drank, and performed other abominable acts. He even kept a prostitute. Thus, he was destined to the carried away to hell by the order carries of Yamaraja. But he was immediately rescued simply by a glimpse of the chanting of the holy name Narayana. Translation once again. AJÂMILA was a Brahmana who, because of bad association, had given up all Brahmanical culture and religious principles. Becoming most fallen, he stole, drank, and performed other abominable acts. He even kept a prostitute. Thus, he was destined to be carried away to hell by the order carries of Yamaraja. But he was immediately rescued simply by a glimpse of the chanting of the holy name Narayana. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
There is no purport, Prabhu, but it is self-explanatory how Ajamil was there.
Yes.
Good, he was basically good, but bad association. He lost all his good qualities.
Yes.
Then what are the sinful activities he performed, and how he degraded himself like that. And he was destined to be carried away to the hell, but immediately rescued by simply glimpse of chanting. This basically 45 to 49 is actually Sukadeva Goswami is glorifying the holy name. Before we read that how the VIŠNUDūtas are glorifying the holy name. On
Yes.
set of verses we discussed how the VIŠNUDūtas are glorifying. In reply to the Yamadutas, they are telling what is the potency of the holy name. That is one section. Now this 45 to 49 is conclusion of this chapter 2. 45 to 49, we are seeing how Sukadeva Goswami is actually glorifying the holy name, and also finally you will have this Palastuti also 47 and 48. The Palastuti of this chapter is given. So that's how this chapter ends. So we can go to the next verse.
Yes, Guruji. Verse number 46. Somebody reading? Mataji?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am. 46.
46. Nāta param karma nibandha grundanam mumukshadam tirtha padanu kirtanat na yat puna karmasu sajjade mano rajastamobhyam kalilam tato anyatha nāta param karma nibandha grundanam mumukshadam tirtha padanu kirtanat na yat puna karmasu sajjade mano Rajastamobhyam kalilam tato anyatha. Translation. Therefore, one who desires freedom from material bondage should adopt the process of chanting and glorifying the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, at whose feet all the holy places stand. One cannot derive the proper benefit from other methods such as pious atonement, speculative knowledge, and meditation in mystic yoga, because even after following such methods, one takes to fruitive activities, again unable to control his mind, which is contaminated by the base qualities of nature, namely passion and ignorance. Translation once more. Therefore, one who desires freedom from material bondage should adopt the process of chanting and glorifying the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, at whose feet all the holy places stand. One cannot derive the proper benefit from other methods such as pious atonement, speculative knowledge, and meditation in mystic yoga, because even after following such methods, one takes to fruitive activities, again unable to control his mind, which is contaminated by the base qualities of nature, namely passion and ignorance. Purport. It has actually been seen that even after achieving so-called perfection, many karmis, jnanis, and yogis become attached to material activities again. Many so-called swamis and yogis give up material activities as false, jagam mithya, but after some time they nevertheless resume material activities by opening hospitals and schools or performing other activities for the benefit of the public. Sometimes they participate in politics, although still falsely declaring themselves sannyasis, members of the renounced order. The perfect conclusion, however, is that if one actually desires to get out of the material world, he must take to devotional service, which begins with Sarvanam Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, chanting and hearing of the glories of the Lord. The Krishna consciousness movement has actually proved this. In the Western countries, many young boys who were addicted to drugs and who had many other bad habits which they could not give up, abandoned all those propensities and very seriously engaged in chanting the glories of the Lord as soon as they joined the Krishna conscious movement. In other words, this process is the perfect method of atonement for actions performed in Raja and Tama, passion and ignorance. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.19, Tada Rajastamo Bhava, Kama Lobhadayas Chaye, Cheda Eter Anavitham Stidam Satve Prasidati. As a result of Raja and Tama, one becomes increasingly lusty and greedy, but when one takes to the process of chanting and hearing, one comes to the platform of goodness and becomes happy. As he advances in devotional service, all his doubts are completely eradicated. Bhityade Hridaya Granthis Chityande Sarva Samashaya. Thus, the knot of his desire for fruitive activities is cut to pieces. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, continuing this, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. 46 verse actually. This is describing about there are many methods of purification or atonement. But this is saying about the permanent purification. That is by chanting, following the devotional service, executing the devotional service, one is getting actually permanent purification. That is what actually described here. Prabhupada is very clearly, not Prabhupada, here the verse Sukadeva Goswami itself is saying here, one cannot derive the proper benefit from other methods. See, Bhagavatam very clearly says, such as pious atonement, we are doing atonement, speculative knowledge also, and meditation. Meditation is very famous nowadays. Modern days, everybody want to do meditation, mystic yoga. But these are all things, it can give some benefit to your mind. It can calm down your mind. And some can give some benefit to the health also. Health part also is there. When you do certain pranayama, it is good for health. And if you do some meditation, it's good for your mind. But it cannot benefit you spiritually. What is it spiritually means? You cannot go back to Godhead by these processes. And suppose even if you are practicing meditation or yoga, you will have sometime you will be, not committing any, sinful activities, but maybe later again you will fall down. That chances are also there. That's what here very clearly Sukadeva Goswami says. Therefore, one who desires freedom from material bondage should adopt the process of chanting and glorifying the name, fame, form, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what it is said, very important. The goal of human life is purification of one's own heart and glorification of the Lord. And when we say glorification of the Lord means glorifying His name, His form, and pastimes, His Leela, and also as well as His devotees. Like yesterday we had Vyasa Puja, we were glorifying Guru Maharaj because he was a pure devotee of the Lord. So while we are glorifying the devotees also, our heart gets purified. And when we are actually glorifying the name by chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Nama, Rupa, Guna, all those things. This is what chanting, Navavida Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. At whose feet all the holy places stand. One cannot derive the proper benefit from other methods such as pious atonement, speculative knowledge, and meditation in mystic yoga. Because even after following such methods, one takes to fruity activities. Sukadeva Goswami is saying, after following this also, they will again come back to fruity activities. An example Prabhupada is giving in the purport. Because he is unable to control his mind. Because controlling the mind is very difficult. Chanchalami, Mana, Krishna, Arjuna also says this. And who can control the mind? Who is the creator of this mind? Krishna. No, he is the original programmer of the mind. Only he has the password to uninstall, whatever this anarthas, So we are difficult to control by other processes, even though it may be controlled up to a certain extent. But fully, if you want to control, that is only possible by devotional service. Why it is contaminated by the base qualities of the nature, namely Tamoguna and Rajoguna, passion and ignorance. So we'll go to the purport. Yes, purport. Prabhupada very beautifully explains this. It has been actually seen that even after achieving so-called perfection, many karmis, jnanis and yogis become so attached to material activities. Because see, we know some spiritual societies, they form the spiritual society in the same name, they open a school also. Sometimes they open a hospital. Because this school or hospital is good, but it is again in the Sattva-guna. It cannot actually, it will give you punya, and again for punya, you have to take birth again to enjoy the results. So you cannot be liberated when you do punya. So this many people may not accept, why you are condemning punya, because punya is considered very good in this world. But Krishna very clearly says, if you do punya, then definitely you have to get the good results. By punya, you cannot, because you need to experience that. When you do devotion, then you get devotion. When you do punya, then you will get back punya. When you do papa, you will get papa. So whatever we do, when you do devotion, you get back devotion. That is in the spiritual world. When you do punya in the material thing, then you will get a material body to enjoy the results of your punya. So the Swamis and yogis, what they do, they give up material activities as false and they take spiritual life because they say Jagat Mithya, the world is false. And the world is false and then they go to spiritual activities. But after some time, what they do, they resume their material activities. They have come down again from spiritual to material activities. How they have come down? By opening the hospitals. We know there are some spiritual societies. Many are there in Kerala also. They open hospitals and schools are performing other activities for the benefit of public. Now you hear an important point. Even in ISKCON, they open up this kind of eye care clinic, everything they do in Vrindavan. So it is not because they do with in the mood of service to Krishna. In what mood we are doing, that is also counted. No, it is not that immediately will become hardcore and we will not help anybody. People sometimes may go to the other extent also. Heart should be, pure. Heart should be soft. You cannot become hard-hearted in devotion. But everything, whatever we do, it should be connected to Krishna. If you connected, like with normal people, they are feeding food. That's called Annadana. Okay, that is good. Annadana, wherever it is, but it is giving punya. But when you serve same Annadanam as prasad, then you get spiritual benefit. Same food you are giving, but you are offering to the Lord and you are distributing. Then it becomes, so ISKCON has Food for Life program. During, they are distributing the schools during natural disasters and to sometimes to prison and so many places. So same food is given, but it is not no more Annadana. It will never give you punya, but it will give you devotion because that food is offered to the Lord. So whatever activity we do as a service, which will be disconnected from the Lord, that become punya. But when it will be doing that same service in relation to the Lord, then it becomes actually a devotion. When you put Krishna in the center. So Prabhupada writes here, further elaborates the same point. Sometimes they participate in politics also, although still falsely declaring themselves as sannyasis, members of the renounced order. They are very powerful in politics, influencing politics. Some Swamijis, they are very powerful in influencing the politics. They will be more active in politics than devotion because their full day is occupied with so many meetings and so many things. So their original intent of spiritual life will be disturbed. The perfect conclusion, however, it is that one actually decides to get off this material world, he must take to devotional service. This is a key point. Like you can do punya, you can do so many, whatever you want. But if you want to be liberated from this birth and death cycle, Prabhupada, Krishna very clearly says in Bhagavatam, you have to take a Brahma Bhavana Laga Punaravartina Arjuna. Mahamupaityatu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. One verse very clearly Krishna says. From beginning from Brahma Loka up to Patala Loka, there is suffering. Brahma Bhavana Loka Punaravartina. They will come back again. Mahamupaityatu Kaunteya, by who is worshipping me, Punarjanmana Vidyate. He will not take birth again in this material world. So this is the key point. That's why Prabhupada is not conclusion, is using perfect conclusion. Perfect conclusion is ultimate conclusion. There is no more conclusion after this. And how does this devotional service starts? And Prabhupada writes, which begins with Shravanam Kirtanam, this Navavida Bhakti. That is how the devotional service we have to take. Chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord, which we are doing in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. Whatever we are reading Bhagavatam is actually chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. This is devotional service. The Krishna conscious movement has actually proved this. It is not anymore theory. This is being proved. How in Western countries, many young boys who are addicted to drugs and who had many other bad habits. You know that when Prabhupada went and stayed in the Gauri, it is a hippie area where people are addicted to all drugs and alcohol and so what not to say. So many things, bad habits. And they were not able to give up. They were addicted. Addicted means they cannot give up. Abandoned all those processes very seriously. But when Prabhupada went, they transformed. And even where Prabhupada was there, the crime rate has actually reduced after Prabhupada transformed many people. So this is what Prabhupada abandoned all those purposes and very seriously engaged in chanting the glories of the Lord as soon as they joined the Krishna consciousness movement. So they got transformed. That is proved fact. It is not only that Bhagavatam is saying, but Prabhupada proved it, that whatever Bhagavatam is said is 100% fact. In other words, this process is the perfect method of atonement for actions performed in Raja and Tama, mode of Rajaguna and Tamoguna. That verse Prabhupada is quoting here, Bhagavatam 1.2.19. Tada rajas tamo bhava, kama lobhadayas chaye, chete etir anavidam, sitam sattve prashidati. So this Rajoguna and Tamoguna, which is actually resulting in kama and lobha, lust and greediness, they will actually be freed. And sitam sattve, they will be situated in the mode of goodness. By taking the shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, they will be purified. And as a result of Raja and Tama, one becomes increasingly lusty and greedy. That is Kama Lobhadayas Che. Tada Rajas Tamo Bhava, Kama Lobhadayas Che means the Rajoguna and Tamoguna will result actually in lust and greediness. But when one takes the process of chanting and hearing, one comes to the platform of goodness. The Sitam Sattve Prasidati. So that is what important, platform of goodness, and becomes happy. Because the goodness result will be you become happy. But still you will be in the material world. You will transcend the goodness also and go to Suddha Sattva. As he advances in devotional service, all his doubts are completely eradicated. Vidyate hridaya granthi chiddante sarva samshaya. Whatever we had doubt that whether Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether we are soul, whether the karma will really work, all those doubts, whatever we had, all this when we are progressing in devotional service will be actually eradicated from the heart. It's called Vidyate Hridayati Granthi Chidyante Sarva Samshaya. All the doubts, Sarva Samshaya means everything will be removed. Thus, the knot of his desire for fruity activities is cut to pieces. This is how one person, conditioned soul can get liberated from the clutches of this material world, from Rajoguna and Tamoguna, by taking the shelter of this Srimad Bhagavatam, by hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, and by chanting the holy name. This is gradually we become purified and we get liberated from these three modes of material nature, and then we can go back to home, back to God, and sincerely take up this process. That is the potential of Srimad Bhagavatam. And as I already said, Prabhuji was saying from Malaysia, no? Like whoever has taken the shelter of Bhagavatam, they all got released from the prison. So that is material prison. There is the normal government prison. Same way we take Bhagavatam shelter, we also released from this material prison as well. Hare Krishna. So, thank you all for giving this opportunity. And yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. So, any questions or comments on whatever we discussed?
Two more verses, Prabhuji, but our time is.
But I think about 10:30. We'll continue.
Yeah. Yes. So that will continue tomorrow. So,
yes, bro. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
So today evening we will have a special class. Today Chaitanya Charitamrita class will not be there because we have some book distribution. Actually, he's a Guinness top record holder. Guinness book. Like Mahotsav Prabhu is in America. So this one is actually very nice. That program is there today evening online. Invitation will be shared. It's Mahotsav, world's #1 book distributor. So,
book distributor, I see.
So Prabhuji is there, studied there in Atlanta. They have a temple also. So he is giving a class, online class, 7 p.m.
Is in Kuwait, Prabhuji? No.
Online only, online, 9:30
Online.
Indian time. 9:30 Indian time. Yeah. So we'll share the link also.
Okay.
So next week we'll resume our Chaitanya Charitamrita.
I see. I didn't notice. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji, very much.
Thank you, Prabhu, and thank you all.
Anybody, anything to add? Sadananda Prabhuji, Manoharini Mataji.
Mataji was a boy. Krishna Mataji also there.
Who is that, Prabhuji? First time I am seeing.
Krishna Mataji from Kanyadesh.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very nice class. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your association.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Please do join every day, Mataji, if you get that.
Yes, Prabhu, sure.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Prabhuji, old devotee or first time in?
Yeah, Mataji is here long time.
Sanatan
Prabhu is there. They are in Salva.
Okay.
Maybe you have not seen them.
No, not seen at that time. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Sanatan Das here, Prabhu. Very nice lecture, Prabhu. It was so enlightening and so thank you, so merciful of you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's actually not a class, Prabhu. Just we are sharing with each other whatever we are understanding. I am not qualified to take class on Bhagavatam.
Thank you very much for it.
But purpose.
You are lucky, Prabhuji. You are getting at least once in a week. And the holidays are there, Prabhuji will come automatically. That's why we are blessed. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you all, Prabhu. Thank you all. Self purpose mercy. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Sanatan.
Thank
Prabhu.
you. Yes,
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandat Pranam.
Thank you all devotees for joining. So please do join whenever you get time. 10 minutes, up 15 minutes, half an hour, full day, every day join. Most welcome. So whatever may be Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, please take part of that. And okay, thank you, Prabhuji. So
thank you, Prabhu. So we'd like to thank all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Yes. We will chant it 3 times Hare Krishna for all Prabhuji as well as all the devotees who are present today. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.